let's continue. Okay, so I'm telling you that machine is able to understand the machine level language, but after that we are having the assembler which is able to convert the assembly language into the machine level language. Then further we have come up with some high level language, so we require certain kind of thing which is known as the compiler in case of C++, that is going to convert this into the machine level language 0 and 1, right? Okay. Further, we have discussed that to learn any language, basically, there is certain things which you should remember. So, like if you want to learn English language, then first you should learn alphabets, then words, then some rules to form sentences, and accordingly, then you can read or understand the English language, right? And the similar line, in to learn any programming language, first you should be able to understand that what are their the kind of symbols one can use, right? Symbols. Then you have to understand about the different variables, right? As well as about their keywords, right? And once that is clear to us, then you can learn about to write down the statements, right? How to write down these statements, right? And then of course the logic you have to think. So based on these things, you can write down the logic and you can come up with the program. So in that way we want to proceed. So first I will start with now, what do you understand by now variables? And of course this chart I have shown to you that how generally people follow the learning process. So generally they keep enjoying till to the certain extent, and when they actually try to solve some unsolved problems or try to solve some real life problem, they feel difficulty, and at that time most of the people used to quit it, right? But whomsoever has crossed this path, they will actually enjoy the entire process in terms of their career growth, in terms of their learning capabilities, and they will keep learning so many languages, क्योंकि फिर वहाँ पे बैरियर नहीं होता है, बिकॉज लैंग्वेज सीखने के लिए आपको लॉजिकल थिंकिंग की जरूरत होती है, रेदर देन एक प्रॉपर माइंडसेट की जरूरत होती है, रेदर देन कि आप सिंटेक्स को रटते जाओ, और रेदर देन आपको हर एक लैंग्वेज का सिंटेक्स पता होना चाहिए, ऐसा कुछ भी जरूरी नहीं है, because internet is so powerful, you can get the syntax everywhere, right? And many of the companies allow us to use the internet. So syntax point of view say, or resource point of view say, there is not any objection, there is not any hurdle. The only thing which is the challenging is to come up with the proper logic and the proper thinking, so that we can solve that particular task. So in that direction, our focus will be in that direction only. Okay, so I hope this part is clear now to everyone, right? Then we can now actually start. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want this kind of interactions to keep, so everyone at least respond, right? Whenever I will ask something, you people has to respond. Okay, so what I have done so far, we have discussed something, and as well as I have, I think, shared now book to everyone. So book shared, सभी को मिल गई ये book. We are using basically the Let Us See book, right? And it is by the Yashwant Kanetkar. Everyone got it now?
No, sir, where you have shared?
Can anyone help me? Where are these books available? This book is available.
Sir, online available है.
Sir, I think I have it. I'll check it, sir.
ऑनलाइन पर है, इसके अलावा भी आपके ग्रुप बने हुए हैं, उनमें सब में शेयर कर दिया गया है विद
Sir, you have shared on Gmail.
with on your Gmail.
Yes, sir, with CR.
आई डोंट नो, मतलब आई थिंक NMIMS आईडी पर ही मैंने तो शेयर किया है. आपको मिला परागी?
Yes, sir, I have received it.
So circulate it to your group, okay? Paragi, I have shared it with you over your NMIMS ID only.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, so that part is done. Now we are going to discuss about some rules. Let's start formally how to declare the variables into the C language. So what are the rules regarding the variable declaration? Okay, in C or C++. So first rule says that everybody can follow these rules. These are already written in that book. I am just going to give you some brief about these rules. Okay. So once I hope everyone is clear with this pattern, that we are going to first learn about different symbols and variables and keyword. Then we will try to write down the statements. Okay. So first part is to understand how to define these variables. So variables can be defined in terms of basically the combination of letters. These are the combination of letters, or you can say the alphabets, right? So you can use the A to Z kind of alphabet, capital A to capital Z kind of alphabets, right? Along with underscore, along with digits you can use, right? That means 0 to 9 digits you can use. Also you can use underscore symbol. This is my underscore symbol. Okay, all these things you can use to define the variable. Second rule says that the first character of your variable, right? The first character of your variable should be, it must be the first character must be either the alphabet, or you can say it may have underscore symbol. Okay, that is the second rule. Third rule is no comma, no commas or blank space you can provide. Okay, are allowed within the variable name. ये सब allowed नहीं है, right? Next thing is
Yes.
no special symbol. So special symbol could be like at the rate, it could be like something percentage, dollar, hash. All these things are not allowed. No special symbols allowed. Just underscore you can use, right? Only underscore can be used. All right. Now let me give you some examples here so that you people will have some fair idea about the variable declaration. And by the way, एक और rule बोलता है कि no keywords are defined, can be defined as variable. Okay. तो अभी keywords क्या होते हैं उस पर हम थोड़ी देर में आएंगे. So let's say some examples I am writing here. I want to represent my principal amount. So I am saying that principal amount I want to declare as a variable name. Here is some space. This is my first one. Second one is, let's say, gross salary. Which one is incorrect out of these two? Which one is incorrect?
So principal.
First one.
Principal amount. Why it is incorrect?
So space bar.
Blank.
So space.
Space is
Blank
not allowed.
space.
Blank space is not allowed. Is this correct? Second one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Sir, underscore.
There is an
Sir,
underscore.
Underscore is allowed, so it is correct. Right. Okay. Can I have underscore gross underscore salary? What
Yes,
about
sir.
the
No,
fourth?
sir.
Yes, sir.
This
Correct.
is also correct. Underscore can be in the starting place, right? First
Yes,
character,
sir.
rule number 2. First character must be alphabet or the underscore. अच्छा 1 2 3 gross, कोई space नहीं दिया मैंने, underscore salary. What about
Correct,
fourth
sir.
one? Correct. How many of you are saying that it is correct?
So it is
No,
wrong.
sir, not correct.
Wrong.
Well,
Why? Which rule?
Second.
So we
Third.
cannot start with
Numbers. You
Digits.
should start always with the first character must be alphabet or the underscore. So it is
Underscore.
incorrect. I hope this part is clear to everyone now.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's concentrate on now next part, which is about the keywords then. What are the keywords? This is again now very, very important. So many people generally used to ask into the interviews. So basically these keywords are, keywords are reserved words. Reserved words into any programming language. Right? I'm not saying with respect to only C or C++. These are the reserved words in any programming language. Okay. For example, I am sure आप सबको idea है तो आप सबने देखा होगा और यूज भी किए हैं. For examples, so their meaning is already predefined, right? एक और statement लिखने दो मुझे. This is the first, second statement. Their meaning is predefined by the compiler or by the, you can say, programming language, right? Their meaning is already defined. We can't change that meaning. For example, for is my keyword, right? If is my keyword, else is my keyword, right? Long is my keyword, double is my keyword, int is my keyword. Anything else?
While.
While is my keyword. और बोलते जाओ.
NM.
Which one?
Do while.
Do is my keyword. Break is my keyword.
True, false.
Continue is my keyword. I don't know about true and false. True and false are the keywords. Have you checked? Void use किया आप लोगों ने? Void.
हाँ sir, void भी.
Yes, sir. Void.
Void is my keyword. Then
Main.
which one?
Main.
Main नहीं है keyword. Struct is my keyword.
String.
String is not a keyword.
Okay.
So आप देखोगे slowly. देखो again from programming point of view, these keywords may vary. From compiler point of view, these keywords may vary, right? So you have to figure out whether it is a keyword or not. To check something whether it's a keyword or not, you can just do this thing, that there is one more rule related to this variable declaration. Fifth rule says that no keywords can be defined as a variable. So if you identify that a string you want to use as a variable name, but it is not allowing you to use as a string, as a key variable name, that means it's a keyword, right? You can check that thing, right? What is, yeah, float is also the keyword, right? Okay, so their meaning is predefined, right? Now a very important point I'm going to write here at this point, that C language or C++ language is a case sensitive language, right? Note that please. C or C++ is a case sensitive language. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of this? Sensible language.
Sir, capital C and C are two different things.
Yes. Yes. Who said this point?
Sir, Kunal.
Kunal. Sensitive language. Right. So that means if I cannot define, as I told you, that keywords as a variable name, right? I cannot define, but I am going to write down here some variable. Let's say integer type का variable है for. This is the one way, and second way integer type का एक variable है for. Both are wrong, both are correct. Which one is correct or incorrect? Tell me.
First is correct, second is wrong.
Second is wrong. I cannot define variable like this, right? Manas,
Yes, sir.
anybody else?
So both are correct.
Both are correct. Kunal, okay. Anybody else?
Sir,
The
first one is
second one is correct, first one is wrong.
The first one.
First one is,
correct.
Correct.
this is correct, this is wrong. So
Yes,
most
sir.
of you are telling me with your understanding that this is correct. Can anyone tell me why it is correct?
So second one is correct.
The second is correct,
Yes,
first
sir.
is
Second one
wrong.
is
Because
first is
for
wrong.
is
Yes, sir.
already a keyword which is reserved
Yes,
for the
sir.
programming language.
Then also I have written here for. Then why
But
it
sir,
is
it's
correct?
capital F
Capital
Sir,
and
ये
C
capital
is
है ना?
Case sensitive.
sensitive to case sensitive.
Very good. Maitri and others. So basically many of you जो starting में बोल रहे थे this one is correct, it is actually wrong. I cannot declare any keyword as a variable name. Here I have mentioned the fifth point. No keywords can be defined as a variable name, right? And here for with the small letter for, which is a keyword, right? So I cannot use this as a variable name. While here, since C or C++ is a case sensitive language, now I have defined here for capital F. So its meaning is changed now, or since for capital FOR, there is no meaning, predefined meaning, or there is no preserved meaning, which has been already defined by the compiler. So I can use this as a variable name. So this one is correct in terms of variable declaration, and this is wrong in terms of variable declaration. This part is clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Especially those persons जिन्होंने mistake की, अभी समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
Right? Similarly, you can think for some other examples, like I am giving you some more example here. Let's say float, and I am having go to, and I am having float, and let's say I am having struct. Which one is correct? First one, again, go to is a keyword, right? I cannot write this as a variable name. I cannot use go to as a variable name, but struct में यहाँ पे s मैंने capital रखा है, so I can use this as a variable name. I hope this part is clear to everyone now.
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay, so we have we saw that how one can define the variables, right? Now let's concentrate on some more part about, let's think in terms of memory allocation. Memory allocation for variable. This is very, very important, okay? So whenever I'm going to write down, let's say integer x, this is having a certain meaning. Basically, it is representing that x is one of my variable, which is going to accept which kind of values? Which kind of values? Integer type. Integer values, right? Everyone pay attention here, right? So
Yes,
x
sir.
is a variable which is going to accept only integer value, right? But I have to discuss the same thing with respect to the memory point of view. So what is happening inside my memory? So if you remember that whenever we are going to execute any code or any program or anything, or if I want to play a song, or if I want to play a movie, then where that part is located? Can you tell me? If I want to play a song, and let's say that song I have already stored into my memory, so it is, यदि मैं लैपटॉप बंद कर देता हूँ, लैपटॉप 2 दिन बाद ऑन करता हूँ, वो सॉन्ग मेरे मेमोरी में रहेगा या नहीं रहेगा? Quickly, if I saved some files, will it be there forever until I delete that file?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
that means we are having basically two types of memory. One is the primary memory. Another one is the secondary memory. Secondary memory, right? Generally in secondary memory, we used to discuss about the hard disk. This is the hard disk, right? So it is a permanent storage memory, permanent, right? Why I am telling you this thing? Because whenever you will play a song, तो वो song आपने जब सेव किया वो कहाँ पर है? हार्ड डिस्क में है, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Whenever you will play it, it will move from hard disk to the primary memory. Primary memory is generally the RAM, which is the random access memory. Random access memory, right? So this song will come into this memory whenever you are playing it, right? And then this song will be played for you, right? Okay, so that means I am working right now over this, something I am writing over this screen, which you people can see. I am using some software. Can you tell me where at present I have not saved anything till now? Can you tell me where that content is available right now? Either it is into the RAM or into the hard disk. Whatever I am writing over this screen, I have not saved anything where it is present right now.
Sir, RAM.
Sir, RAM.
RAM.
It is available inside the RAM, right? So whatever things I have written, it is going to reflect the changes into the RAM only. Now, before closing this file, I have to save it. And whenever I will click on this save button or I will do the Control S, then this file is going to again go back into my hard disk and it is going to saved into my hard disk. This part is clear to everyone now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? There, so that at any other day or any other time, if I want to access again my files, I can access with these current changes, right? So I can access them. जब भी मैं कुछ access करूंगा, that means वो out करके कहाँ पे आ जाएगा? RAM में आ जाएगा. This part is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right? So many of you have observed this thing in terms of video games, that somebody is having just a 2 GB of RAM, तो उसके में कोई game नहीं चल रहे होते हैं, because that game is so heavy that already some processes in your RAM are present which are necessary for the starting of your computer and for the input output devices, and as well as you require some extra memory for your game, but that memory, sufficient memory, is not available inside the RAM. So at that stage your game will not execute, right? Or it will stuck at somewhere, right? Sometimes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But overall, the purpose to describe all these things is to relate in terms of programming. Okay. So you have written one code. Where you have written your code? Over the editor, right? Over the editor you have written your code. Then you are going to save that code. So once you are going to save that code, after saving, will that code be present inside the RAM or inside this secondary memory?
So secondary memory.
Secondary memory, right? Might be at that time, since other कोई process नहीं आई है, तो वो मेरा code यहाँ पर RAM में भी available होगा. ठीक है? जब तक किसी और को जरूरत नहीं है, ये जगह खाली नहीं होगी. Okay. So all these things basically in detail you will study in the OS part, right? That is the operating system job. The switching of this process, right? Process का मतलब क्या होता है? That song itself is a process. That movie itself is a process. That game itself is a process, video game. So whatever you are going to, access, that becomes a process, right? So ultimately, that is the OS job, like which particular thing you want to keep into the RAM, which particular thing you want to again, switch from RAM to the hard disk, you want to take it back, or what way you can, which process you can replace out of the given memory, because RAM is a very limited amount of memory. So यदि किसी दो heavy process को लाना है इसमें, but we don't have sufficient space, then which particular process I can replace. So for that, OS performs all these jobs, right? OS is having its own predefined duties, right? Now, my purpose is to explain you from the program execution point of view. So whenever you are going to execute a program, basically the compiler is going to assign some memory to the variables, right? Right? So these variables are going to consume some memory into the RAM part, right? This,
Yes, sir.
okay. So again, let me draw some partition here. This part is clear. So let's say I am having this RAM here. This is my RAM. Now, let's say based on the compiler, it is going to consume 4 bytes of memory. How many bytes? 4 bytes of. So this X is, and let's say each row in this RAM is having 1 byte. 1 byte की length है इसकी, मतलब at most I can store 1 byte is equal to 8 bits I can store. 8 bit I can store inside this 1 row. तो X को कितने बाइट देना है? 4 bytes. That means how many rows it will have?
4.
4 rows it will allocate to this X, right? 1, 2, 3, 1 more, 4 rows. And here I can store my X. Since it is a RAM, so it should have some memory address, right? Let's say this memory address is 1000, right? This location is 1000. It will start from 0, 1, 2, and so on. Let's say this is the 1000 space. 1000 से लेकर के 1000, 1001, 1002, and 1003. Till that, it has been assigned to the variable X for its storage. This part is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
This is very, very important because we have to write an efficient code. So if you are not able to judge that what is happening inside this execution part, you cannot come up with an efficient code, right? So that's why
Sir.
in the starting only, I'm telling you this, how this memory is going to allocate into the for the variables. Yes.
Sir, can you please explain this part again?
Memory allocation.
Sorry, 1 byte wala.
Okay. So see, RAM is having some rows, right? So this is my first row, this is my second row, and so on. I am having several rows inside my RAM. Okay. Now each row, inside each row, I can store at most 8 bits. 8 bits. That means 8 bit मिलकर के बनाते हैं 1 byte. So I can say inside this one row, I can store 1 byte. I can store 1 byte, right? Can I say that?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now this integer X, which I have defined, so it is a type of integer type of variable. So based on the compiler, it says that it required 4 bytes of memory, right? If I write down here float X, then also I required 4 bytes of memory to store this value, right? कितनी वैल्यू चाहिए मुझे, कितनी मेमोरी चाहिए? 4 bytes चाहिए. तो 4 bytes मेमोरी लेट से रैंडमली असाइन करता है ये. तो 1000 से शुरू हुआ, सपोज करो, तो 1000 स्पेस किसको एलोकेट होगा? X को मिल जाएगी ये वाली रो. अगली रो भी ऐसे, अगली 2 रो और भी किसके लिए एलोकेट हो जाएंगी? ये पूरा का पूरा स्पेस फॉर द X पार्ट, X वेरिएबल, बिकॉज इट रिक्वायर 4 bytes. तो 4 byte मतलब 4 रो इसको मिलेगी, तो 4 रो इसको मिल गई है. दिस पार्ट इज क्लियर टू एवरीवन नाउ?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So it is having now 4 bytes. Now, ध्यान से सुनना. This access, to access this particular location, it is having a fixed address, right? That address is 1000. But to remember this thing with the help of address, and that address has been generated with the help of OS, right? OS is going to assign some memory to these variables, right? Basically the compiler, right? But compiler is going to interact with the OS. So at the end, I am not worrying about where this X is going to store, right? I am not worrying about that. My thing is that I can access this memory location instead of by its memory, actual memory, I can access this with the help of this name, and its name is X. Right? This point is clear to everyone. I
Yes,
don't
sir.
want to bother about what is the particular address for this X variable, because I can refer that address with the help of this variable name, right? So that variable name here is the X. This part is clear to everyone now.
Yes, sir.
It is very, very important point. I am, digging out the things, and I am trying to give you as much as possible I can explain to you. So if you find any difficulty, you can let me know. Otherwise, just focus here. Okay. Now, let's move a step ahead. I have assigned some value to this X, right? So I have assigned this memory to, let's say, value as 7. 7. अब ध्यान से समझना, इस 7 को मुझे कितने बाइट्स में स्टोर करना है?
4 bytes.
4 बाइट्स में. That means how many bits?
32.
32 bits.
32 bits. Now bits का मतलब 0 and 1, right? So 7
Yes.
को 32 bits के कॉम्बिनेशन में लिखना है, तो मैं कैसे लिखूंगा? ध्यान से समझना. 7 को लिखने का तरीका होता है 1 1 1. This is representing 7, right? This is representing 7. Correct? कैसे कंप्यूट करते हैं? If you remember, ये यहाँ पे इसको ऐसे करते हैं, 0 प्लेस 1 प्लेस 10 प्लेस, राइट? तो इसको हम 2 की पावर में लिखते हैं. तो 2 की पावर में यहाँ पर ये 0 1 2, तो यहाँ पे 2 पावर 2, राइट? प्लस अगेन नेक्स्ट प्लेस पर 1 है, सो 2 पावर 1, प्लस अगेन यहाँ पर 1 है, सो 2 पावर 0. This coming out to be as 4 plus 2 plus 1. This is 7. This is clear to everyone? Binary to decimal conversion.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So how many bits actually I require to store this information? 7. How many bits I require?
32.
अरे यार 32 तो एक्चुअल में लग रही है, बट एक्चुअली आप देखोगे यहाँ पे 7 को लिखने के लिए कितनी बिट्स की जरूरत पड़ी? 3 बिट्स,
3.
right? So what about these other bits? So these bits I will write down. Actually, compiler will consider as 0, right? 0 0 0 0, and then 1 2 3. And 32 में से, so till the 29, then 30 31 32 bit will be 1 1 1, and till this first 29 bits जो होंगी वो 0 होंगी. So that means इसमें से जो first 8 bits हैं, then second 8 bits, then another 8 bits, and finally the last 8 bits, right? तो पहली 8 bit यहाँ पे स्टोर हो गई होंगी 0 0 0 0, next 8 bit 0 0 0 0, next 8 bit 0 0 0 0, and last 8 bit 5 times 0 and then 1 1 1. Like that, this very value is going to store into this memory. This part is clear to everyone now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very, very important part from memory allocation point of view. So many things anybody can ask from this part, and you should be clear the actual picture behind, the variable declaration, what is happening. I hope this part is clear now to everyone.
Yes, sir.
If you are having any kind of doubt, you can unmute and ask. किसी को भी कोई भी डाउट है इसमें? मैत्री?
Yes, sir. No,
Any-
sir, कोई doubt नहीं है.
समझ में आया अच्छे से?
Yes, sir.
ओके. प्रीत?
Yes, sir.
परागी?
Yes, sir.
सुधांशु?
Sir?
यस.
ये 2 to the power 2 वो नहीं समझा, ये क्या लिया है 2?
ये क्या है? बाइनरी टू डेसिमल कन्वर्जन है.
अच्छा.
I want to convert this binary to decimal. So the way is to first you count the place value. So this is like 0th place, first place, second place. And then binary से decimal में तो base आएगा binary, that means 2, और फिर ये second place पे तो इसकी power 2 हो जाएगी, plus यहाँ पे 1 है, मतलब उसकी प्लेस पर भी वैल्यू है. So basically this is 1 into 2 power 2, this is 1 into 2 power 1 and 1 into 2 power 0. Like that you can convert, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's now write down formally. So we have understood certain things. I am just quickly defining the things, whatever we have covered here. We have understood variable declarations in C and C++, rules regarding that, right? We have understood the keywords and their meaning. We have understood how the memory is going to allocate in terms of variable declarations, right? So this, till this point, if you are having any difficulty, let me know. Otherwise, we are moving in the direction of first program. Any doubt to anyone?
No, sir.
No? All right. So let's write down the very first program. First program in C or C++, both ways I will tell you here. Okay. So left hand side, I am going to write down in terms of C. So let's say I am first writing it, then I will explain it. Okay. So let's say I have include, then here I have stdio.h. Then I am having void main. I am having some integer values at, let's say, प्रिंसिपल के लिए मैं P ले रहा हूँ, रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट के लिए R ले रहा हूँ और टाइम के लिए मैं T ले रहा हूँ. एंड आई एम गोइंग टू कैलकुलेट सम सिंपल इंटरेस्ट विच मे हैव, लेट्स से, द वैल्यू इन टर्म्स ऑफ फ्लोट. तो सिंपल इंटरेस्ट के लिए मैंने ऐसा ही वेरिएबल ले लिया. नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू राइट डाउन हियर प्रिंट एफ, एंटर द वैल्यू ऑफ, आप लोग पूरा लिख लेना, प्रिंसिपल, रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट एंड टाइम. ओके. अगेन हियर आई हैव टू राइट डाउन scanf, s small है. So here I will write down that percentage किसके लिए चाहिए, PRT. तो percentage D, percentage, sorry, R, percentage T, sorry, percentage D, percentage D, all are D, percentage D. Then ampersand P, ampersand R, ampersand T. And then I have to compute simple interest. So this is the P into R into T division 100, right? And then I am going to print it, this value, print f simple interest ठीक है. यहाँ इक्वल टू भी लगाया मैंने. सो दिस, एक मिनट, ये सेमीकोलन अभी नहीं आएगा. फॉर्मेट स्पेसिफायर पहले बताना पड़ेगा मुझे. इज इक्वल टू परसेंटेज एफ and then comma, and this is the value of SI. So SI, and finally execute my code. The same code I need to write down in C++. I will let you know. Wait a minute. First, let me explain this part, whatever I have written here. So basically, whenever you have to write down your code, where is my marker? Yes. So whenever you have to start writing your code in C, you have to use this include stdio.h. This is one of my header file. So header file is something, that file which is having, you know, some predefined meaning of some functions. That's why I required to include it. So inside this stdio.h, printf जो मैंने लिखा है, that is a function. It is a function. Scanf is a function. So their meaning, printf and scanf meaning, is defined inside this header file. If I am not going to use these two, then I can omit this file. right? ध्यान से सुनना everyone. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So the meaning of printf and scanf is defined inside this stdio.h. That's why I required this file header file to include here, right? So I have included this file. Now again, pay attention. Execution of any program always start with main function. That means इसके पहले जो भी मैंने लिखा है वहां से एग्जीक्यूशन नहीं होगा, वहां से कोड रन नहीं होगा. कोड रन हमेशा कहां से होगा? मेन से शुरू होता है, राइट? सो एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ एनी कोड इज गोइंग टू स्टार्ट विद दिस मेन एंड इट इज अगेन अ फंक्शन, राइट? फंक्शन की पहचान क्या होती है? उसके आगे पैरेंथेसिस लगे होते हैं, राइट? वॉइड यहां मैंने लिखा है, उसका मीनिंग क्या है वो थोड़ा बाद में बताऊंगा. So now I have declared 3 variables, right? 3 variables of which type?
Integer type.
Integer type, right? So I am having the P, R and T values, variables name, principal, P for principal, R for rate of interest, T for time, right? And I am going to compute this, values, and I am going to get the value that might be in terms of decimal. So I have declared this as a real type variable, that is the simple interest, right? So उसके लिए क्या करते हैं? Float लिखते हैं, floating value के लिए. Till that point, any doubt to anyone till this point?
No, sir.
अरे एक बार फ्लोट का वापस.
Who is asking?
So yeah, sure.
आप ध्यान नहीं दे रहे हो?
So दे रहा हूँ.
Okay. So what I am telling you that printf and scanf, these are the 2 functions which I am going to use inside my code. So their meaning is defined inside this header file, which is the stdio.h. So this header file I have to include at the very beginning, right? So I have included this header file. After that, the execution of my code will start from the main function. Inside that I have written the first statement by statement ही execute होगा, right? So सबसे पहला statement मिला इसको integer PRT, that means it is going, the compiler is going to understand that हमें 3 variables के लिए memory allocate करना है, और वो variables कौन कौन से हैं? P, R और T. कौन से टाइप के? integer टाइप के लिए हैं. I hope now memory allocate करना है तो ये पिक्चर आपके दिमाग में क्लियर हो जानी चाहिए, right?
Yes, sir.
इस वे में ये मेमोरी एलोकेट कर रहा है, राइट? फिर ऐसे ही एक ऐसा ही जो कि फ्लोटिंग टाइप का वेरिएबल है, सो इट इज गोइंग टू गिव यू द वैल्यूज और असाइन द वैल्यूज इन टर्म्स ऑफ डेसिमल एज वेल. तो वो मैंने सिंपल इंटरेस्ट के लिए ऐसा ही ले ली वैल्यूज. फिर उसके बाद थर्ड स्टेटमेंट पे आऊंगा मैं, प्रिंट एफ. इन्वर्टेड कोमास के अंदर जो भी लिखा है प्रिंट एफ में, वो सब कुछ वो एज इट इज प्रिंट कर देगा. क्या कर देगा? एज इट इज प्रिंट करेगा. तो देखते हैं हमने सबसे पहले क्या लिखा है, ई कैपिटल, तो ई कैपिटल मिलेगा आपको. एंटर द वैल्यू ऑफ पी, आर एंड टी. तो ऐसा मैसेज आपको कहाँ मिल जाएगा? ये आउटपुट स्क्रीन पर मिल जाएगा, राइट?
Yes, sir.
आफ्टर दैट यू विल एंटर दीज वैल्यूज, राइट? प्रिंसिपल की वैल्यू डालोगे, लेट्स से 5000, आर की वैल्यू डालोगे, कुछ टी की वैल्यू डालोगे. Now pay attention over this scanf statement, which is very important from C language point of view. So here you are going to specify something which is written here %d and 3 times. Why? Because you have to store these values into 3 variables. So basically here this %d is going to specify the format specifier. That means P is going to store the %d, that means integer type of values. So already this syntax is defined, right? That meaning is defined. Whenever you will write down the format specifier, naam yaad rakhna, it is known as the format specifier. So whenever you will write down the %d, that means it is going to tell the language, or the compiler is going to tell us that I am going to accept the integer type of value for the variable P. तो ये यहाँ पे करस्पॉन्डेंस रिलेशनशिप मेंटेन करते हैं, मतलब परसेंटेज डी पहले लिखा है जो, वो पहले वाला किसके रिस्पेक्ट में, पहले वेरिएबल के रिस्पेक्ट में, दूसरा वाला दूसरे वेरिएबल के रिस्पेक्ट में, ये ऑर्डर आपको ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा, तीसरा वाला तीसरे वेरिएबल के रिस्पेक्ट में। मतलब यदि मेरा आर जो है वो फ्लोट टाइप होता, राइट, तो मुझे थर्ड में परसेंटेज डी की जगह पे परसेंटेज एफ लिखना पड़ता, सॉरी आर के लिए, तो सेकंड प्लेस पर
Second
मुझे
वाला।
परसेंटेज एफ लिखना पड़ता, सेकंड प्लेस पर। क्लियर एवरीवन?
Yes, sir.
Right, so this part is clear now. After that, user has entered three values, one for principal, second one for R value, third for T. My question is, यदि उसने वैल्यूज उल्टी डाल दी, मतलब पहले टाइम एंटर कर दिया, फिर रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, फिर पी वैल्यू, फिर उसने पी की वैल्यू डाली, मुझे बताओ कंपाइलर इसको कैसे इंटरप्रेट करेगा? क्या वो प्रिंसिपल में प्रिंसिपल की वैल्यू ले लेगा? क्वेश्चन इज क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
तो क्या होगा उस केस में? What will happen if I entered the values in reverse order? It is asking for PRT. I am entering with respect to like T, R, and T. Anybody else? Anyone? Matri.
Sir, it will take the values as we have done in ordered.
That means for P, it will consider the value of T.
Yes, sir.
And for R, it is R actually. And for T, it will consider the value of P.
P. Yes, sir.
Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right,
Yes,
because
sir.
it is a machine. The kind of logic you will write, it will take the things as it is without using its own mind. Okay, this part should be clear to everyone. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have to try all these things, right? You have to try this code as well. Okay, after that, it is going to move over this statement, which is the SI is equal to P into R into T divided by 100. So it is going to compute, this is just a formula, right? So it is going to compute this part and will assign the value to the left hand side variable, which is the SI, right? तो SI में मुझे कुछ वैल्यू मिल जाएगी, right? Now I want to display that value. So again, printf simple interest is equal to percentage F. So it will print over the screen that simple interest is equal to, and percentage F is going to tell me that it is going to be a float type value. So SI में कौन सी value है? SI किस type का variable है? Float type का है. So you have to specify here percentage F, right? So you will get the output over the screen now. This part is clear how this code is going to be executed.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt regarding this to anyone? Tell me. Anyone? Otherwise, we are moving. Yes.
Sir, no doubt.
Okay. So now we are switching to the C++ code. ओके अभी हमने C की लैंग्वेज में कोड देखा, सेम कोड मुझे C++ में लिखना है। तो यहाँ पे सबसे पहले मैं शुरू करूँगा include iostream .h, okay, iostream .h. Then again I will start with void main. Then integer type में मेरे पास में variables हैं p, r and t, and float type में मेरे पास में है si. Then cout I have to write here. To print any message over the output screen, you have to mention cout, right? So enter the values of p, r and t. This message you will print. Then here you will write down cin. So this type of braces you have to use, and directly you have to access these values into p, r and t. No format specifier you should specify here, right? Then you have to do this computation. Simple interest is equal to P into R into T divided by 100, right? And finally, C out, you have to mention C out here, and then simple interest is equal to, that's it, and it is present into which variable? SI. So SI, this is the way to write down the code. Can you tell me, just by looking at the things, the code, C and the C++ code, which code you find to be easier one?
C++.
C++. So what I am expecting now from you guys, logic you have to understood, the format you have to understood, syntax you have to understand, and after that, once you understood all these things, you have to do the practice only and only in C++. Then my question is, what is the importance of C language then? See, in many of the companies, whenever you will appear for the interview, you will find that they will give you some coding round, and there some output they may expect from by giving you some provided, they will provide you some code and they may ask for some output. So might be that code might be written in C language. So at least you should be aware that how that C language and what are that syntaxes related to the C language, that should be, you should be aware about all these things. But beyond that, there is not any further requirement. But of course, we will learn in this workshop entire duration. We will try to learn from both point of view, and also we will learn that if there is any differences in terms of syntax, right? But you have to practice mostly in the direction of C++ language only. This part is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I hope this part is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first thing is, you people has to practice again. You have to write down the same code which I told you, okay, which I have written here. The very first, this one, C as well as C++. Now how to, some things, some points, important points you have to remember. Whenever you will write your code in C language, you have to save that file by using the .c extension, your file name, and then the extension will be this one, right? .c. Okay. To save the C++ code, you have to use .cpp extension. Okay. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I would prefer all of you use a common platform, and for that, see, you don't require to install any software, so you people can use GDB compiler, which is online editor is available, right? It's an online editor, right? You can just choose the language in that, and accordingly you can write down your code and you can check the execution part, right? So all of you should use this online editor. If already you are using some other things, I am okay with that. I don't have an issue. But to be on the uniform and to be on the same, same page, I would say that if you people can switch over this compiler, that's just fair enough. You can use this editor, GDB compiler, which is the online editor. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that is the another thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this part is clear. Then now we have understood how to define the variable and what is the, in what way the execution of first program is going to be. So like here, I have demonstrated you the C++ code. Can anyone help me regarding the execution of this code, from where this execution will start for C++? come forward so that your doubt will also be clear. This is very good practice to teach someone. So if I'm asking you, everyone should be, excited to explain. Yes. Who want to come first? Quickly. Maitri, do you want to attempt?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how this code will execute?
Sir, C++1 now.
Yes.
So first we will import the header file from the library.
What is the importance of this header file?
Sir, it stores all the variables which we are going to use like
No,
float,
no, no,
int,
no,
and
no,
everything.
no, 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 no.
Then
The C out and C in.
Yes, it will have the menu. Who told this? Who answered?
So Preet.
Preet. So this will have the meaning defined for the C out and C in. Another difference you people should remember here, in case of C language, printf and scanf are the functions. In case of C++, C out and C in are the objects. These are the objects. अभी मैं इसकी ज़्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जाऊंगा because I won't be able to make you understand. But when we will, directly, when we will switch to that object portion, class and object, तब मैं explain करूंगा. Okay, so these are the objects and their meaning is defined inside this header file. Okay, Maitri?
yes, sir.
So that's why I told you that you should come forward to explain. Okay, जो भी ये लोग आगे आएंगे उनको ज्यादा समझ में आएगा, otherwise you people will have doubt. वो पढ़ाने से क्लियर होते हैं. Yes, Satyan.
Sir, in which file is the definition of multiplication division stored?
No, that is already defined inside this. That compiler understood all these things, right? That is the arithmetic and logical operator. So that is the job of your machine. It will be performed by that only.
Okay, sir.
But there are certain mathematical operations for which you need to include some header file, which is the math.h, right? So that we will see slowly when we will switch to that portion. Like the power operator is not defined simply, right? For to execute that power operator, power computation, we require that math.h header file. Okay. Satyansh.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, Maitri, go ahead. So after that, execution will start from?
Sir, it will start from void main, in which
Main,
we
okay.
actually wrote our main program.
Okay.
So first we will initialize PRT, that in which type of data type we want to take it. So we have
Okay.
initialized as integer,
Okay.
and we have taken SI as float, means it will take in decimal form.
Mhm.
Then we wrote a statement asking, it will print that
Okay.
enter the values of PRT, then user would be see the same statement.
Okay.
Then we will take in the values of PRT respectively in the same order.
Okay.
After which it will calculate the value of SI. And once
Mhm.
the calculation is done, we will get in statement simple interest with the value of SI which was calculated.
Very good. So that means the execution is going to start from this main, and this first C out statement is going to execute. Then the second one, that means it is going to store all these values. Then this computation is going to happen. And finally, we are going to print over that entire screen. And this message is going to display with the final result, right? So this part is clear to everyone now?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Now let's move to some questions. Okay. But before moving into the question part, let me discuss some arithmetical expressions. Okay. So I'm going to write down now some arithmetical expressions. How to define these arithmetical expressions we are going to see. Okay. We have so far saw that how to take the input from the user, how to take the print the output over the screen. Now we are going to discuss or switching into the part of statement declarations, right? So this is the third thing which we required, to execute or to write down any program. So statement का meaning क्या होता है और statement कैसे लिखते हैं, right? So if you remember this slide, this one, right? Symbols, we all knows what kind of Yes, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And what about my screen?
Sir, it stopped.
Stopped. Okay. Now you can see. Okay, so I will take another 15 minutes around. Okay, then we will stop at this point. Okay.
Okay,
So,
sir.
so we have understood symbols, we have understood variables and keywords, and now we are focus is in the direction of statement. And once that part is over, that means directly we are into the in the line to write down the code, variety of codes, and then to come up with certain logics and then to learn about the loop. So उस stage पे हमें पहुंचना है. So that stage will come at this point. First we are going to start with the statement. So statement means basically in terms of language whatever we have written here, like everything you can consider this as a statement. Now there are variety of statements. One statement is known as the declaration kind of instructions, right? So statement bolo ya instructions bolo. So like here, I'm going to declare something, right? That these P, R, and T are the variables which are going to store the value of integer type. So I'm going to declare something, right? So it's a declarative, right? Or you can say the declaration kind of instructions are there. Right? This is the declaration kind of instructions. Similarly, this one, right? Now there is some art, this is as well, right? I want to print something over the screen. Now there is this kind of a statement which looks different. SI is equal to P into R into T divided by 100. So it is known as the arithmetic instruction. Arithmetic instruction. And there is third category which is known as the control instructions, right? So control instructions में generally if else for all these things आते हैं, उनको हम बाद में पढ़ेंगे. पहले हमारा काम है डिक्लेरेशन इंस्ट्रक्शन, सभी को पता है जो भी हम वेरिएबल्स वगैरह डिफाइन कर रहे हैं. अर्थमेटिक इंस्ट्रक्शंस जहाँ पे हम कंप्यूटेशन कर रहे हैं. सो लेट्स मोर फोकस इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ अर्थमेटिक इंस्ट्रक्शंस, राइट? तो मैं यदि स्टेटमेंट लिखूं या फिर इसी को मैं बोल दूं इंस्ट्रक्शंस all are same. Okay, any doubt till this point to anyone? Any doubt?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, let's then try to see something from the programming point of view, which statement are correct or which are wrong. Okay, so you people has to answer me. I am going to write down here something. So if I write down, let's say int I is equal to 10. If I write down int I comma j is equal to 50. If I am going to write down int, let's say a is equal to 1.5 and b is equal to 1.99 plus 2.4 into 144. What about the first statement? Is this the correct one?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It's
sir.
correct.
Second
Yes,
one?
sir.
This is also correct.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
In this, so basically what we have done here,
Initialization.
initialization of these variables, right? What about these two?
It's wrong, sir. It should be float, decimal
Yes,
values.
sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's say it's a float now.
Sir, उसके बाद भी wrong होगा क्योंकि
So
sir
B is wrong.
Sir, it's an arithmetic and we can't do that in initialization.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so again, your task is to check this one. I want answer for all these things, okay, in the next.
Sir, it is correct.
Bhabya Kothari, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so everyone has
सर
to
लाइक
check this
ब्रैकेट
one.
लगाना पड़ेगा अगर कुछ मतलब न्यूमेरिकली गड़बड़ होती है तो.
So what I am telling you, you have to check with this statement, okay, everyone?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is very, very important instruction, or you have to check this one, right? It is very important. Now let me come up with one more example, very, very important. Okay, so I'm going to write down, let's say next example as float. A is equal to 1.5. B is equal to A plus 3.1. Yes,
Yes, sir, it will work.
it will work.
It's correct.
Yes, sir, it is
Yes,
correct.
sir, it is correct.
What about others? Others are there. सिर्फ 3 ही लोग आंसर कर रहे हैं.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's correct. Then what about this one? If that is correct, then what about this one?
No, sir, it's wrong.
No, sir, it is not correct.
So second one, you are telling me that this is wrong and this is correct, right?
Yes, sir.
Any reason?
सर बिकॉज आपने
We
मतलब
have to
सेकंड
declare
वाले
it
में
first.
ए पहले लिखा है और बाद में डिक्लेयर किया है
Very
तो
good, very good. So we are using one variable which is a here, but that is not defined at this stage. It is defined at the later stage, right? So we can't use it because compiler is not going to understand about this a variable, right? उसको नहीं पता ये क्या है, क्योंकि सबसे पहले स्टेटमेंट कौन सा एग्जीक्यूट करेगा, वो ये वाला.
B.
So accordingly, it will not have information about the A, right? So it
Yes,
is
sir.
wrong. Clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me write down few more statements. So let's say integer A, B, C, D. And let's say A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to 5. What about this one?
It will work, sir.
Acha.
यस सर इट विल वर्क
Let me write down something else. Int A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to D is equal to 10.
यस सर
Which one? This one, first one is?
सर
Yes,
बोथ आर करेक्ट
One is correct,
The
sir.
second one is wrong.
Second one is wrong. Why?
Sir, because we did not initialize ACD, we just directly wrote an equation
Because
that A
you
is
are
equals to B
trying
equals to C.
to access this B
B, sir.
to the
because
A before termination, right? That means B should be defined first, but B is not defined. Similarly, C you are trying to access. Similarly, D you are trying to access, right? So it is incorrect. ये सिर्फ सुनना नहीं है आपको, ये सारे के सारे आपको चेक करने हैं. Okay, all of you. Yes.
yes,
सर वो लास्ट वाला एग्जांपल
Yes, sir.
दीजिए ना.
लास्ट
सर एक
वाला
बार previous slide दिखा दीजिए.
ये सर ये एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए ना वापस, समझ नहीं आया.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ यहाँ पे आप A में किसकी वैल्यू असाइन कर रहे हो,
बी की.
बट B क्या डिफाइन है?
नो सर.
सो वी सेम रीजन, यहाँ पे A डिफाइन नहीं था, आई कैन नॉट यू राइट डाउन दिस स्टेटमेंट, राइट? क्योंकि कंपाइलर के लिए अननोन है, ये बाद में डिफाइन किया मैंने. सिमिलरली हियर आल्सो B की वैल्यू कुछ भी डिफाइन नहीं है और उसको मैं एक्सेस कर रहा हूँ एंड ट्राइंग टू असाइन दिस टू द A, सो इट वोंट वर्क. कुणाल,
यस सर, अंडरस्टूड.
चेंज करूं?
yes, sir.
Okay, let's move to this slide. Now here I am going to explain you some, priorities in terms of arithmetic operation. तो सबसे पहले हाईएस्ट प्रायोरिटी होती है पावर ऑपरेटर की, राइट? फिर उसके बाद में होती है इनटू और डिवीजन की, फिर उसके बाद में होती है प्लस एंड माइनस की, राइट, और फिर सबसे लास्ट में होती है इक्वल टू की। दिस पार्ट इज क्लियर। मतलब यदि मुझे कोई एक ऑपरेटर ऐसा एक्सप्रेशन दे दे, लेट्स से z इज इक्वल टू 2^5 प्लस 3 इंटू 4, राइट, तो मैं सबसे पहले किसको कंप्यूट करूंगा? पावर ऑपरेटर को। क्लियर? सो दिस बिकम्स 32 प्लस 3 इंटू 4, right? Then my job will be to compute this expression. So this becomes 32 plus 12 and the final answer is 44. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Priority. This is having the highest priority and it is having the least priority. Okay, so this is again important because many times at many stages somebody may ask you to compute the following expression result, then you should be able to understood all these things. Okay, one more thing I want to write down one important example. Let's say I am having the character A, B, and C. Let's say I am having A as character F. This is already given by the way in the book. B is equal to G and D is equal to, let's say, D is, sorry, C है मेरे पास, तो मैं C लिख लेता हूँ. C is equal to A plus B. Will it work or not? Tell me. Will this work?
Yes, sir, it will work.
क्या मिलेगा?
No, sir, C वाला वर्क नहीं करेगा. A and B वाला स्टेटमेंट जो है वो वर्क करेगा. A is equals to F and B is equals, but sir C नहीं करेगा because C actually data type car है, star है, and इसमें हम arithmetic operation लगा रहे plus का. That is wrong.
That is wrong. So again you have to check this. Okay. Very, very important point. So what is happening actually here? A is equal to F. That means the ASCII value of F. ASCII value of F
तो
is going
C
to
हो
store
जाएगा.
into A. चेक करना है आपको, हाँ, फिर बताना है, ऐसे मत बोलोगे. Then ASCII value of G is going to store into B, right? And then you are adding these two and then you are trying to access this C value. ठीक है? अच्छा, इसी एग्जाम्पल को मैं डिफरेंट वे में कोट करता हूं. सेकंड एग्जाम्पल. नाउ यू आर हैविंग, बहुत ध्यान से देखना, नाउ यू आर हैविंग दिस काइंड ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन दैट ए और बी कैरेक्टर है. ओके, सो स्क्वायर में अभी भी मेरे पास ए एंड बी है एंड इंटीजर में मेरे पास में सी है. And now A is equal to, I have F. B is equal to, you have to not only tell me the answer, you have to tell me the reason, okay? C is equal to A plus B. This one as well. These are some assignments, okay? You have to solve, everyone. You can note down all these things. Again, you have to check for this one. Okay?
सर ये गलत है.
I don't know. What I am telling, you have to implement and check it. We will discuss all these things in the next class. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then third one, which is very, very simple. I hope everyone can answer this one to me. That if I am having -5 modulus 2, modulus operator पता है ना?
Yes, sir, reminder देता है.
Reminder देता है. So what it will give me? 2 or -2? Oh, sorry, 2 modulus 2. So 1 or -1? +1 or -1? है ना क्वेश्चन? अच्छा, कैसे बताओगे? एंड सेकंड थिंग, सेम वे, इसी प्रॉब्लम को मैं ऐसे लिख सकता हूँ, 5 मॉडुलस -2. व्हाट शुड बी योर आंसर?
The -1
In which case?
in first one.
In third case, -1.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And in this case, +1.
Sir, fourth का नहीं पता मुझे, but third I think -1.
So basically, you have to again check all these things, right?
तो
You have
थर्ड
to
में
take this
-1 और
and check
फोर्थ
this.
में 1.
तो
ठीक है?
fourth में 1 क्यों आया?
क्योंकि जो कंपाइलर है that is going to understood that it will assign or give you the sign of the basically जिसको आप डिवाइड कर रहे हैं. तो यहाँ पे माइनस है तो you got the answer as -5. यहाँ पे इसका साइन पॉजिटिव है so you will get as the +1.
So higher number is given more preference in case of sign convention. Okay.
So all these things you have to try. Along with this also I am giving you some more things which you need to do. So everyone is having now same book, so I can directly give you the expressions or the questions from the book. So everyone has to complete. ध्यान से सुनना. Everyone has to complete exercise में A part, B part. Everyone write down all these things. Okay, so in the exercise part, this is for practice, it will help you. Exercise, I think it is available over the page number 39. Can anyone confirm me? So A part you have to complete. B, confirm me please. सही है page number? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. 1 minute.
Sir, just second.
Yes, sir, it is 39.
39. Okay, so A part, B part you have to complete. Then from the C part you have to complete A, B, D, 3 things only. And then you have to switch F part. So inside that you have to complete what will be the output of following programs. Okay, so I would say everything you have to complete, all questions, and then you have to focus on some MCQ part which is mentioned in the G part. MCQs. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we can stop at this point and we'll continue from the next session. अगला वाला और interesting होगा. We will discuss some loop, some if and else, और कब कौन सी condition true होती है, कब कौन सा statement execute होता है. All these things we are going to observe. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
yeah,
Thank you,
I am
sir.
going to share this slide as well. Okay, so you people will
Yes.
help.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So through CR I will help.
Sir.
I will share. तो मैं CR से उम्मीद रखता हूँ कि वो लोग टाइम से शेयर कर देंगे सारी चीजें.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Bye bye. Take care and
Thank
do
you.
practice.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye bye.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you share this recording as well?
Yes, I will see.
Okay, sir, thank you.